Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is time for the after show where we talk nonsense and other things. So, the first thing I wanted to ask Ren is, where did you come up with your name? How did you come up with your name?
It's actually pretty simple. I don't know if you played any of the old like Baldur's Gate type games and Dungeons and Dragons.
I have not.
I played some of the older Baldur's Gate, like the really old ones.
Well, you know, like Pool of Radiance and those games, and then the books as well.
Okay.
The main character was Reno the Blade, and
Ah,
I had originally had a tune named Renquist, but it was taken on one of the servers I went to, so I just went with Reno the Blade after that.
Interesting.
right.
Either it may be simple, but it's always a story. There's always a story. So, cool. Now, Ren, the guild, as the guild knows, you have this obsession with transmog. Where did this obsession start? Did it start as soon as transmog was in, or was it just like you kind of like it was all you're like, okay, this is kind of cool, and then it just all of a sudden you're like, okay, no, I need all of the gear as much as possible.
Man, I used to have so much gear. I had so many alt banks and stuff, and it sucked when once it was soulbound, you couldn't get rid of anything. But I just always collected, I guess you could say, and Transmog just made it a much better way to show everyone how beautiful Blood Elves are.
Ah, I see. So it was kind of like it was already already an obsession of collecting gear, and you kind of just like threw that in with the transmog stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of like half not Transmog right now because I kind of like the tier, even though this is showing up as the purple normal tier, not the blue. But
Or are you blue in game?
mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, there's a weird bug where it'll show the wrong color of the tier. It even actually happens in game. Sometimes you shift click an item, a tier, and it'll be like the wrong color.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
It's very odd.
yeah, that's strange.
Well,
So-
I made a whole T-Mog based on one of the fist, the fists, the big fist weapon with like the shiny glow on it, or not fist, a mace, from Hands and Strands, I believe,
Oh yeah.
the one-hander. I made a whole T-Mog based off that, but my weapon ended up being like blue and not green, or vice versa, and I was like, okay, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why that's such a hard thing for Blizzard to be able to show.
I think they have some new tech
Messing with us.
some new tech with the way the color works. Sorry, I got a dog barking through my window.
Probably Rosie.
I don't think so.
So okay, so Ren, so what's your top? Let's go with top 5 transmog sets, and obviously
That's a lot.
I know. Well, I mean, tier sets. I guess that you use as transmog, because I know there's transmog people that like take stuff from all over the place to make a set. But yeah, top 5 favorite tier transmog set.
Oh, geez, that's hard. There's so many, but obviously I like the Judgment set, and I like the Lawbringer and all those. Anything gold and shiny is good for Blood Elf. And
Yeah.
then I wasn't a huge fan of Mists, but Wrath was all right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming a lot of Wrath, even Pally gear again, because I didn't play in Wrath, but I'm assuming it was a lot of like darker colors and not so shiny.
Yeah, and at first I was worried when this expansion came out that everything was going to look like orc stuff, like a bunch of rough-hewn things.
Mm-hmm.
But we got pretty lucky, I think.
Yeah, there was a good mixture there, I think, with the tier sets. Like, I'm not a big fan of any of the tier set, or I wasn't a big fan of the high mall sets. Like what you're wearing, because that set that is shown on stream right now is a high mall set. Am I correct? Like the purpley goldy set? Because I remember I got, or no, that's BlackRock. Because that helm That fucking helm. I remember I got it and I put it on and I was like, what the fuck is this helm? It was disgustingly ugly. But on a blood elf, it looks nice.
Yeah, I don't usually show the helms, but it's that one is the bottom half of that is the Sun Soul set that you can get from the
Oh.
salvage yard.
Okay. That's kind of
Right.
cool.
Yeah, my salvage yard set is pretty boring. It's like, it kind of looks like the old like Legionnaire gear in vanilla, like kind of like High Warlord, but not as cool. The purple stuff. I'm not really a big
Yeah.
fan. But it's weird because
Yeah.
with Heimal and Blackrock, it's considered the same tier, right? Tier of rating. So the sets actually kind of go across both dungeons. Like
Yeah.
I have like a belt from Heimal that goes with something from Blackrock and you know all that sort of thing. So it's kind of weird. I haven't seen that before. Or I guess that was true in Burning Crusade with like Serpent Shrine and Tempest Keep.
Mhm.
They kind of shared the tier 5 type gear. And that green offset that you have, Ruler, or had.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ren?
Well, I like well, you know, I also like the Death Knight set, but in blue.
Honestly, I don't even know what my tier set looks like. Mine's the ogre. Oh yeah, it's the ogre set. That's where I was like, okay, what the f? Because like you got the same like it was like the ogre looking set from Heimal is my tier, and I was like, what the hell? Like I was really annoyed because I was like, I wanted something new and unique, and it was not that. It was like literally an image from Heimal. I'm like, okay. And I think I'm just not a big fan of. I like the shoulders, but I'm not a big fan of the helm, and so like, and you kind of need the helm with the shoulders to make it look matchy. So I was just like, I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, I kind of like mixing the PvP stuff with the Foundry set.
Yeah, my PvP set is, I love it. I still love it. I just haven't. I can't remember why I stopped transmogging. I think it was because it was too dark, and going into Blackrock, it was just kind of like I kind of blended in with everything, and I didn't like that. I liked being able to be seen, so I switched to that blue Kata set. Now I'm green because got over that cat set.
That's the Blood Elf coming out in you. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I mean I like to transmog, and I would do it more often, but I just don't have that many sets because of a DK. Like I can get like offsets and recolors and stuff, but like there's no tier stuff for me before Wrath. So
Yeah.
and a lot of the cool unique things like really different colors and stuff, bright colors, are all from like original tiers. Like I know I can get the recolor of Judgment, but like I don't like purple. I'm not a big fan of the purple, especially like on a Tauren. It probably looks ridiculous. But,
Yeah, with the dress and all.
exactly. Speaking of dresses, my tier set in Miss, I can't remember which tier it was, but like DK's wore robes. It was a robe, and I was like, what the hell is going on right now? Like it was very weird.
I remember that. It was like Heart of Fear,
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
it was very strange. And I was like, okay, I don't understand why a DK of all classes is wearing a flippin' robe. But I guess it was kind of necromancy, so it was like, well, let's make DK more necromancy with a robe. Excuse me.
Yeah, I kind of like the robe. It wouldn't really work on a warrior, I don't think, just because of like a warrior is supposed to be like whatever. But it kind of works on a DK
Yeah, like it
because you
does.
summon things. You're kind of like a shaman, like elements to it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really butthurt about because I have the recolor warrior set currently right now from SSC, and in Tempest Keep, and I had the helm, I had the full set, I had everything, and then I sold the helm by accident long time ago, and it was like months later that I realized that I sold it. So I couldn't get it back. Like item restore was being annoying and stuff, and I haven't seen it drop since, and it's been really sad. I did it today to try and get it. depressing.
Oh yeah, that's from like Tidewalker or something, right?
Yeah, Voidwalker or whatever his name is, the one in TK.
Oh, TK. Oh, Void Reaver, right.
But yeah, I kept thinking it was off on the last boss in Serpent Shrine, but it was off Void Reaper, dude.
Right. Yeah.
I like all the old raids. I like going in there and getting stuff.
Yeah, are you you said you're a gear collector. Are you like a everything collector? Like, do you try and get all the mounts and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What's your favorite mount that you've gotten that's kind of like a rare one?
Well, actually, it was this right after I got. This is right when Wrath started. I had just gotten my charger for your pally. You know, you're like, oh, finally finished the quest and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went with a buddy of mine who had me go to Stratholme, and the first time I went in there, I got Rivendare's charger.
Oh, no way.
So, yeah, he hated me for a long time.
I think that's one of the most rare mounts in the game. Like that one is like the percent has always been low, and it like still is one of the lowest.
So I'm a noob, and I don't know of this mount. What is this mount?
The final boss of Skullomance? No, Stratholme. Yeah.
Yep.
You remember the final boss in Stratholme?
Well, which
Like-
Strathome? Because there's like 60.
I think all of them have the same. The guy on the horse, right?
Oh, okay.
In the little room,
Okay.
Baron Rivendare.
And he drops him out?
He drops the mount that he's on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's undead purple charger, basically. It looks like the warhorse.
It's pretty sweet.
That's cool. Yeah, because I told this story on stream before, but I went into Karazhan to do like pet run, basically, and I killed the first guy, and I get this achievement. I'm like, what? I look at it, and it's like, obtain the fiery warhorse. I'm like, what? And I look at my bag, and I have the mount, and I'm like, what? There's a mount off this guy? I didn't like. It was like, what? I was so confused, and then. Yeah, and so I got that mount, and apparently that's super rare.
Yeah.
So I was like...
That one might be as rare. Or I feel like it's not, though, but I don't know. Because the thing with the Baron Rivendare one is it's been in the game since, like, pretty much day one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been just really rare, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a 0.001% chance or something like that.
Yeah.
That's insane. And, I guess there's no heroic version, so it's just like that dungeon. Can you still get it today? I guess so.
You can, yeah. But it's still just stupidly rare. Which is, it's cool.
Yeah, I kind of want to farm it now.
Yeah, I'm like 20 away from the 300 achievement for mounts, I think.
Wow. That's got to be something pretty close to Kate, I think, or Kiwi. I think she's at like 250 or something.
Oh yeah, mounts, yeah.
He collects all the mounts, too.
I'm at...
Do you have the time lost, Ren?
I don't. That sucks.
Well,
It's not fun to grind it.
Yeah, Brash, tell him the short story that of you getting that mount.
Can't remember exactly anymore, but it was basically what did I do? Well, at first I leveled. I like camped him for a long time, like probably not that long at all. It was like a week, and then I logged in like late at night or something, and I just like it popped up and I got it. Basically, it's something like that, right? Am I missing something?
Oh well, you leveled a tune
Yeah.
on a really low pop RP
Right.
realm, Venture Co or whatever. You're equaling
DK.
something.
But I think that was after I got that mount.
No, I'm pretty sure that was during that.
During that?
Yeah, like because
Okay.
I remember wanting to go on your realm to get it, even though you had gotten it, and I was like, oh man, there must be a chance for me to get it then.
Right.
I'm
So
pretty,
did I get it on that realm or did I get it on Dragonblade?
No, you got it on that realm.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I feel like I got it because I got it on my pally. I didn't actually get it on that dude. So I feel like I might have actually gotten a Dragonblade. Like I might have been doing that, but then like just randomly logged into
Oh.
my pally and I got it. It was like, okay.
Weird, because that I don't remember you telling me. I swore you were on your goblin on Ventrico, and you had you left him on and you went to bed, and you were just gonna let him sit there until he timed out or whatever.
Right.
And then you had your alarm sound really loud, so if it popped, it would wake you up, and then it woke you up, and you got up, and you got it. For some reason.
I think that was what I was attempting to do, but what I actually ended up doing was, I just when I logged on, it popped up.
Oh.
But actually, the weirder one, well, not actually weirder, but the Anax, the one in Deep Home. I was on my hunter leveling, and I just go into Deep Home, and it was pretty late. It was midnight-ish, and it popped up, and I'm like, oh my god, Anax. But this was before mounts were cross account, so you could like I didn't want it on my alt. I wanted it on Brash, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was like, shit, like I need to log out and go on Brash. So I did it, and it took me an extra couple minutes, but I still got there in time, and I got Anax. That was pretty awesome. But like I didn't even need to take the risk, because like a couple months later they add cross account mounts. Oh, I would have been peed if I had missed out on that.
Yeah, that would have been brutal. Let's see.
I do have quite a few of the like world mounts that are like rare spawns, but not hard to get like to drop, like 100% drop. But I don't have a lot of the ones that drop in a raid or something.
Right.
Because I also have the camel from Deep Home, and I got that one. I definitely got that one on my low pop roam.
Right. Yeah, I remember. And then I leveled a dude on Ravenholt, because Ravenholt was also really low pop, not quite as low.
Yep.
And that's how I got the camel. I basically tried to get as many rare spawns. That's how I got all of the spiders in Molten Front.
Right.
Pets. Got a shit ton of pets on the low pop. I'm not sure, Xano, what those realms are actually. I think they're literally just for new players. I don't know what the populations are of them.
Yeah, they vary, I think.
The low pop realms that we were on, they were RP PvP, lowest population overall, so not just like Horde side or Alliance side, but overall. And they said that they weren't going to merge them because they were doing the server merges at that time. They were kind of like, they were starting to do them. And they said they weren't going to merge them because obviously those RPers are kind of like intense. Some of them are. And they get defensive and all that kind of stuff and name changes. But they ended up merging them anyways, like this expansion though. And I was kind of bummed because I was like, okay, I mean, like we were kind of fudging it a little bit with like getting like groups and people logging off, and we were still in the realm and all that kind of stuff, but we weren't doing anything quote unquote illegal.
No.
Or anything.
We were
like
like
that.
We were exploiting a, not like exploiting like what people think of it nowadays, but just like we're exploiting a weakness, or no. What do you say it? I don't know. But basically loophole, yeah. It was completely legit.
Yeah, it was. Because
they had added cross realm. And so you could go into other realms, right? Remember in Mist, and that was a pretty big deal. But they also added in the phasing, like people would phase in, like when you're leveling, people would from other realms would come into your realm, right? But the thing with the RP realms is you could still phase into the realm if you were in a party, but they wouldn't have like if you weren't in a party, you couldn't phase in. Like there was, when you went to level on that realm, there was only that realm still. So it was kind of like this like period, like weird period where you could do that. It was like a loophole, yeah. And that's how bored we were in Siege of Orgrimmar. We leveled DKs on a new server just for that like thing. And it was actually really nice because we both had level 90 DK, and we would level a new tune on Dragonblight, and the other person would invite, like if I was leveling a guy, Rhuller would invite my tune, and you would go into a low pop, and you could level like really quick. Yeah. Because all the mobs are up and all the rares were up. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most fun times I had during Mist was when we were doing that. It was super fun. And I also did Recruiter Friend twice in Mist.
Yeah, I may have done that like 6 times. Actually, I did it 6 times, but with one account.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I have like 14 level 90s.
Yep. It was a little bit ridiculous. So
But
yeah.
Ren, you have a lot of level 90s too, right?
Yeah, I think this year of me being just retired has really sped through my. I have 8 Horde and 2 Alliance 100s.
Oh, at 100. Wow. And how
Like,
many at like 90 or like 80?
I have one at 94. It's a monk, and I'm still I don't know about monks, but the rest are I got a couple servers worth of probably like in the 20s and stuff.
Right, yeah. Monk is fun. I think you would like the tanking. Um, I didn't like the DPS. I've just never been a fan of the Monk DPS. I feel like it's gimmicky and weird and like I don't know, just not a fan.
Isn't gonna and it's gonna get raped, isn't it?
It's getting nerfed. I think that the intention is they're nerfing the base damage of Monk, but they're really gonna buff the cooldowns. So they're really cooldown dependent, which is cool. Like, kind of. I guess I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be good for them in the end.
Make it like a paladin.
Yeah, yeah, like an old. I guess are Pallies still like that? Quite cooldown heavy.
Well, the good thing is now is they're all like 2 minutes. So
Yeah. Yeah, see, I have a lot of 3 minute, or I have Wreck, which is my biggest cooldown, and it's 3 minutes. So everyone else has these 2 minute cooldowns. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I have 3 minute. Like it doesn't line up with anything.
shout outs to 3-minute cooldowns. Thanks, Blizz.
You have 3 minute cooldowns
I have my
as a DK?
my gargoyles 3-minute.
Oh, okay, so you're more like me.
Yeah.
But then I have a bunch of 1 minute cooldowns.
And mine, I don't even have cooldown. I'm trying to think. I have the 5-minute cooldown that I use for when we lust, or when I
I
use
don't have
my
any 5 minutes.
when I use my second pot. I will use my 5-minute to get all my runes, and then, yeah, and everything else is just like the only other cooldown is a 1-minute, and that's the defensive.
Actually, this is a good opportunity. Um, Ren, so your longest cooldown is 2 minutes, DPS wise.
yep, and there's really only one cooldown, I guess, and then you can do the execution as well. And I do that. That's a 1 minute one.
Right. Yeah, see, I remember talking to Regoth in Miss, and he was talking about how they were going to change. I guess it was late Miss. They were going to change Pallies to have shorter cooldowns, and we were kind of going back and forth, just kind of conversing about the details of that. And I was saying how like it's not necessarily better to have shorter cooldowns, because then you have to worry about lining them up like every like 1 minute or 2 minutes, which on certain fights can be like 5 times. And if you screw that up, then it's that's screwed up. Like that, you're not going to do as good. Whereas back with the old Pally way, it was you had long cooldowns, right? They were like 5 minutes, but you did a ton of damage with them, right?
Yeah, I used to love being able to when lust would hit, we'd hit those cooldowns. The lowest one's like 4 minutes. You
Yeah.
just go crazy.
I remember.
But
Yeah, I remember. No one could beat Regoth on the pull with Lust and like a pot and all of his five or whatever long cooldowns. Like it was badass. And so, what do you think now? Like, do you think it's better now, or do you prefer the old way?
Well, I think I did better on the old way, but
Right.
with this, what happens a lot, like Orgorger tonight. If I pop my cooldowns and he phases or something, then it's just thrown away, and I lose
Exactly.
like 8k on that.
Yeah. Yeah, because with the 2 minutes, 2 minutes might work out on Orgorger not bad because I think his phase, like when you can actually damage him, is about 2 minutes long. And then his rolling phase is probably about 2 minutes. So then you come back in, and so it's not too much wasted time.
Yeah,
But like a 4 or 5 minute cooldown would work also because you'd save it for the beginning and you'd save it for the end, and you'd be perfect. Sometimes having the short cooldowns is tough. Because as a warrior, I have a talent that makes all my 1 minutes 45 seconds basically, and the 45 seconds can get really really messy because you're in the middle of a phase or something like that, and you're like, oh crap, this didn't line up, and now you got to go back and change talents for the next pull, and hopefully things pan out the same way and whatnot. It gets complicated.
yep. They seem to find ways to mess with us to keep us guessing.
Yeah. I think I prefer the old Pally way because it was like you guys would just be like monsters on the pole, and then you kind of slowly trickle down on the meter, say, and then at the end you'd use all your stuff again and you'd come right back up. I don't know. It was just the Pally way. It was very like that's what they were. Like no one else had that ability to that degree. And I guess it's all homogenization, right? Like as they call it, everything's becoming more and more the same, and I don't really necessarily agree with all of it.
It's like sometimes I feel like I'm not doing very good DPS, but then if I ever get in a pug group or do any heroics or randoms or anything, then I look pretty good. So it's just that you guys are really that good, you and Rhuller and Regoth and the ranged guys. But I don't. Again, why we talk about ranged guys?
Hey, I noticed though, Ren, you've improved. Like even this expansion, I've noticed. Like I think everyone's improved. Well, maybe not the ranged, but I think we've all improved really. And I've said this a lot, but like I think our top 10, 5 or 10 people in the raid are really good nowadays. And like we always have someone ranking like 99% or something. Whether it be me or Rhuller on some fights and Day on some fights. It's just, like we've got some pretty good players, and I really do think we are like better than ever in that regard. It's pretty cool. So like don't don't feel bad if you're keeping up at all. I think you're doing good. Yeah, Cerisi, actually you're doing really good.
I like raiding with you guys just for the simple fact that the more laid back you feel about it, the better you do.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel like a lot of pressure sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. I hope that I try to get that across. Like I do come off as an elitist sometimes, but I really do just like playing with good people. That's what it comes down to. I don't really do well under pressure, so I don't want to apply that to other people.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pressure either, even though sometimes I feel it, but it's my own pressure. Like it's not anybody else putting pressure on me. It's like putting pressure on myself to try and do better. Not so much now, but like when I first started raiding with Monkey, I felt like this tremendous pressure on me to not only do well, but to make myself kind of part of the group. And so slowly that went away, but I still had that pressure to do well. And at this point, it's I'm more relaxed, and I feel like if it's gonna show that I'm doing better, it's gonna show when I'm chill, when I'm kind of just letting things happen as they happen and not pressure myself. Because when you try too hard, you tend to do worse. Or if you're thinking about it too much, you tend to do, or I do anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I remember in Mists, I'm not sure what happened, but I totally agree with what you're saying. Like if I was zoned out or just feeling good and just it kind of everything's rolling, I could do really well. That's when I always did my best. But in this expansion, I don't know if it's something warrior based or whatever. Because we're so extremely procky and random kind of based, so you have to be on the ball the entire fight. So I find that when I'm actually really focused, I do the best now, and it's kind of reverted. Like when I'm lax, I end up spamming buttons that I'm not supposed to, and then the whole thing's screwed up, right? So I almost have to be more engaged than ever. And it's kind of weird. So like I find like on fights where I'm really, when you're really trying too hard, I actually don't do that bad because I'm still like I'm paying attention, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the key. As long as I'm not like super trying too hard, but I don't let go of any attention because I have to track so many cooldowns, and I have to wait for like ads to spawn. I have to save all this crap and line everything up for the ads. It keeps me on my toes, and so it's weird that because I used to say that to you, like Rhuller. I used to be like, yeah, the best fights are when you're just kind of zoned out and you're just having a blast. But for whatever reason, Fury right now doesn't really work all that well with that because you have to be quite reactive.
Yeah, well,
it's odd.
Well, for example, like Chromog, I literally thought like when I topped the meter, I wasn't paying attention to the meter at all. I thought I was
Oh
doing
yeah.
pretty bad. Like I thought I was like, oh, like this feels kind of meh. But I topped the fight and I was like, what just happened? So, I mean, and like, but tonight I was trying really hard with Brule. I mean, granted, I was trying to do single target, so I was trying to do my defile, and I know I fucked it up. But like I was trying really hard, and I think because I was overthinking it, I didn't do as well. It's like there was tons of people above me, which is good. It means that people are getting better and stuff. But I wasn't totally happy with my performance on Gruul.
Right.
But
Yeah, the thing with Gruul tonight, man, I had like no execute procs like for the entire first 80%. I was kind of butthurt. And I also got stunned on every knockback. I think I got stunned 6 times. It was brutal. And then my execute was good, my execute phase. But like, holy man, I couldn't, there was nothing I could do. Yeah.
yeah, just to comment on what Xano said, that's the one thing that's really good about this group is that, sure, when somebody fucks up, like, it's probably frustrating for a lot of people, but when it comes down to it, it's like there's no reason to flip a table because you're not gonna get anywhere with that. You kind of have to keep everybody in check to be able to even progress, and I think Joel does a good job of that. And you can hear it in Joel's voice sometimes when he's frustrated, but he's not frustrated with any one person. He's frustrated at the whole thing. So, yeah, that's one great thing about. And as Brash has expressed before, and other guests on the show, is that it's a family feel. You have people that that feel like family, and you can like talk to them and stuff about. If there is an issue, it's not just like, oh, like maybe you could do something about this, or like maybe we all need to do this better or something. Like no one's gonna get offended. It's kind of like we're all just trying to help each other, and it's kind of cheesy, but I mean it totally is, totally works.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I yeah, totally.
If the game's not fun, real life can suck sometimes, so why would we want to play a game where we go in and get pissed off and feel bad about each other? I really think all you guys put up a good show, and everyone does really well, and that's what makes this what it is and why it's fun, because I wouldn't want to be in a guild or anything where everyone's pissy all the time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you gain nothing from it, in my opinion. When everyone's in a bad mood, all you do is you feel bad, and you don't get anywhere in any regard, in my opinion. Feeling bad about yourself or positivity does go a long way. In my.
And now that I know that the wind mask is Xano, I can say yes, I do like your transmog.
Oh, his
Yeah.
weapon. Oh, that weapon is so sexy. I want it. I want the next one. It's like the huge, like, golden, like, dagger, cleaver, sword thing. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I kind of. So I officially have 2 one-handers that are 685,
Ooh.
and I could use them, but it's like, do I even care? You know what I mean? You know what? You know what I'm gonna do when we're not doing progression? What I should have done tonight is I should have just done it. I should have went dual wield frost, and just kind of just done it. I need to, and that's what I need to do. Is on the boss fights where we kind of like done it over and over again, and it's kind of like raffle almost. That I want to do it, and even if I suck, like I just want to. I know it's fun. Like it's confusing, but it's fun to see me with 2 one-handers just like wrecking face. I don't know. I think I might want to do that at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing is, at this point, it's weird to say, but I think you'll not like Frost. I mean, you've told me this, but I think Frost is just not complicated enough. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just hit the buttons that pop up that glow, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Well, that's why I want to try dual wielding Frost, because it's probably similar to the fact that it's easy. There's not a lot of uh, complicity. Is that a word? It's not that complex, but um, the thing is it's backwards to two-handed frost, which would might make it interesting. But you're probably right. In overall, I'm just gonna be like, lol, frost is awful. Give me a break.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it. I have one DK and he's always been Frost dual wield, and I always love just the fact that he's different than everybody else. You know, anybody can switch to what's the best at the time. You know, sometimes you gotta be vintage. You know, be like large and have skinny jeans and be a hipster.
Well, that's
That's
one of
awesome.
the things that I did like about it is that it was different and that you never see that, and it's just like I did want to do that, but when I tried it and originally it was all backwards to two-handed frost, and I was like, oh, I don't want to learn. But at the start of this expansion, I learned Unholy because I knew it was better, and I kind of motivated myself to learn things. Because if I want to do well, I need to try and do the best spec at the time. And I know dual wielding frost is the bottom of the DK barrel, probably almost the entire barrel, but it definitely it's nice to switch it up, to be honest, when we're doing stuff that we just do over and over again. You get bored, and that's why I don't mind as much as I say like, oh, tanking, I kind of don't want to tank. Tanking changes it up for me and makes it just a little bit more interesting, so that I'm not completely bored out of my mind when we're doing the same bosses over and over again. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll call something. I think Frost with the next patch, at the early patch, Frost will be good again.
Probs.
But then once we get gear in the next patch, Unholy will become better again.
Well, as far as I know, Frost is not getting a nerf, but Unholy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frost is getting like a 20% buff to what you call it, Frost Strike and Oblivion.
Oh. Well, there you go. Maybe I didn't even know that.
that accuracy of that prediction. Oh, man,
It happens a lot with DKs.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what Lokir said. He's like, the beginning, Frost is always terrible, and then, or not terrible, but bad, worse than Unholy, and then at the end, or like closer near the end, it's like they bring them back up to be like somewhat competitive, and that's kind of what you were having an issue with at some point, Brash, where like things weren't as competitive as others, and it was just kind of like a fuck fest.
Yeah, Fury was a joke, an absolute joke. Oh my god, some of the worst crit and proc chances that Fury has ever seen at the beginning of an expansion. Like you couldn't crit to save your life, and that was the whole rotation. So then I ran that Gladiator spec for a little bit.
Yeah.
And at that time, Arms was completely unviable. And then in like the first day of Mythic, which was the second week of normal, they buffed Fury, and I went Fury instantly. It was awesome. Actually, Fury, after that buff, it was in some of the best shape it's ever been at the beginning of an expansion because of the way they fixed the crit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. Actually, I really like Fury right now. It's still really fun.
But you got so much shit that's going on. It's I was playing my Alliance Warrior, and I was like fucking up because I knew that I had to, like, Raging Blow, you want to stack it to 2 and use 1, but keep 1 up or whatever. And I was like, every time it popped, like procced, I was like, oh, I gotta use it, right? Because I'm just like instantly proc, you gotta use it. But then I was like, oh my god, no, stop it. And I just like kept fucking it up, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But it is fun. I enjoy it. I'm not at all. But
It's one of those specs where it's fun most of the time, but then you get some of those really bad fights with no procs, and you're like, oh my, this spec is bad. And then
yeah, because it's so RNG. It's just like, what the fuck. Has there been any like drastic changes to Pally this expansion? Like, were they pretty good at the beginning and like still good, or anything, Ren?
I'd have to say we're pretty flat this time. I mean, when I first started playing it again, I didn't start playing in vanilla. I started playing at the end of Burning Crusade. But I was pretty scary in Wrath. I was okay in Cataclysm and Mists. but like now I feel like we're almost getting back to Wrath again, at least as
Okay.
far as being able to compete, especially in PvP too, because I like to PvP.
Oh, really? My hunter needs a carry. We should carry him to glory because I want him as an alt. I don't want to grind LFR. It's terrible.
If your hunter heals, I'll do it.
Oh God. You just learn holy. It's fine. You can heal me.
Oh. I've never had a healer. I've thought about it a couple times, but I just don't know.
So you've never healed on anything?
No, just tank and melee. I have a couple of ranged tunes, but I don't think I get it. I try to get close, like I need a melee or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know them feels. That's why I want to get a hunter as an alt because it's less ranged feely because you don't have like casts and shit. It's all like survival hunter. It's all like procky and like just kind of nuke, and that feels more. It's more fun for me and it's like than a mage. God, I could not play a mage, even though mage was my main. I will add. But I can't sit there and just cast. Like, I don't know. It feels like wasted time.
And you never get to move.
Uh-huh. And then when you're moving, you can't attack. And that's another good thing about hunters. You can attack while moving. I mean, I know it didn't used to be like that, but it is now. So I'm totally missing this conversation. I need to read.
Oh, in chat, we're just talking about Gladiator for Warrior, and I think they were actually okay at the beginning of Blackrock, but as soon as you get the 2-piece or 4-piece, it's better to go like Fury or Arms because it doesn't benefit, as far as I know, it doesn't benefit Gladiator, so they basically have no tier set.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, so they're kind of not a thing, and it is kind of cool. Yeah, like it is a cool spec because they have no DPS cooldowns, like I'm saying there. They're very like flatline DPS, you know, like they just do the same damage the whole fight. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. And they like don't even benefit from Bloodlust very much, or yeah. So it could be a cool spec to have something like that, but they need a set bonus of some sort.
Yeah, they can't be competitive without a set.
Because the prot set bonus gives you extra block chance, or like it improves your block, but doesn't increase your block or bonus armor. So yeah, it's not. I don't think it benefits prot. I haven't looked into it though. Maybe they have something that works.
Wait, so there's literally no gladiator thing on the tier set. It's literally just prot, fury, and
Yeah,
wow.
because gladiator isn't a fourth spec. It's actually just a talent in prot.
Yeah.
It's weird. It should just be a fourth tree. It would be awesome, and it would probably fix all the problems they're having too.
Well, yeah, like they did that with druids. So why can't they just do that with prod? If this is something they want to do, then either go all the way or don't do it at all. In my opinion.
Yeah, and it's a really
Definitely.
it's a cool idea because like what's cool about it is you get your main tanks, they get the shields first, and then the gladiator warrior gets the next shield. So then he has like this full tank set. He DPSs during the fight, but say if you need a tank for one fight, he can swap and go full tank, right? Without swapping much gear. Because bonus armor actually affects their DPS, which is really nice. Like it's a cool concept, but it's just not implemented very well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really cool. And like I like things like that. I like when there's like a little bit of difference, but you kind of get that. It's kind of like you kind of get that full warrior feel with gladiator because you get that tankiness feeling, but you get that damage as well. So it's kind of like you get that whole warrior thing in this one kind of spec thing. And if they did that as an actual fourth tree, I think that would do well for it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like my buddy Thornton, he was really excited for it, I think. Like, because he really likes the sword and board kind of playstyle, but he doesn't necessarily like tanking, right? So, like, he plays Gladiator even now, even if it's not the best, because he just enjoys, like, using a shield. And like I know a ton of people would like to do that. Um, but yeah, they've kind of teased it to us now. Like I don't know if they can just get rid of it or they have to fully commit to it or whatever. Because I mean, I'm sure like a ret pally or like a lot of classes they only have one DPS spec, right? Like ret only has ret. You have to heal or tank in the other ones, right?
Yep.
And it's kind of weird to give warriors a third DPS spec. We already have two. Like I like it, but it's also kind of weird, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Because they only did that for Guardian, for Druid, because there was like healing DPS, and one of the sets were kind of either, or, like tank, like Feral was either. So it's like they kind of just split it. Whereas this is kind of adding like a third DPS spec, which is odd.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. I think it would still be kind of, it would be cool if it was like, I don't know. I think it would be cool to see like be competitive against like a tanky warrior. I don't know. You see a shield on and it's just like bashing people in the face. I don't know. It seems kind of cool. But I like the kind of gimmicky a little bit. That. Yeah. Well, I think at this point, unless there's anything you guys want to comment on, I think we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of good stuff.
Cool. Again, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. All of your support is incredibly appreciated. This wouldn't be anything without you guys. I want to thank Ren again for coming on and spending time with us. We really appreciate that for sure. And hope you can come back sometime. Definitely want to get some more Pally perspective for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think... Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. I'm rambling.
I like this is a pretty neat forum to be able to talk about stuff. It's a lot of fun. I didn't even realize the chat for half the talk, but that's okay. Cerisi, you have fine transmog. It's okay. But you're still ranged, so you know.
Cool.
Awesome.
But did you want to say one more thing, Brash?
Oh no, no.
Okay,
it's all good. It's all
right.
Good. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back again next Thursday after raid. And I actually don't have a guest yet, so we may have to ask a certain ranged class to join us. Hopefully he's done school at this time and is free. But anyways, thank you guys again, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Rhuller.